welcome back to my channel. It's WANGUI GATHOGO here, and I make videos about food and lifestyle. In today's video, we are going to talk about spices. Spices. Do you use spices? Do you love spices? Should you use spices? We're going to talk about all that in today's video. But before we do that, have you subscribed to my channel? Have you? I will give you a moment to subscribe. Please subscribe, please like this video if you like it, please share with a friend that might find it helpful, and let's interact down in the comments. Okay, so I am going to start this spice video by classifying the types of spices that we have. It's important to understand the different spices and how you can use them in your food to spice the food, and what goes well with what you can mix with what and what you shouldn't mix, and how much of each you should use. I know you guys have so many questions, and I feel like most of you also don't use spices because you think they are bad, but spices are good. Spices are good as long as you know which one you're buying. Okay, so let's start off with the first category of spices, and that is warm spices. Warm spices have deep aroma and a strong taste. Okay, they are flavorful, they are rich, they are distinct. So which spices fall into the warm spices category? I am going to list them down. You can write down if you feel you might forget, and if you're trying to learn about spices, you can write them down. So warm spices: ginger, cardamom, cloves, coriander, nutmeg, black pepper, cinnamon, cumin, mustard, cayenne pepper, garlic, turmeric, and fenugreek. Right? These are the kind of spices that lie in the warm spices category. As the name suggests, these spices are warm and they are delicious. They're just amazing spices. So where do you use these spices? You use these spices in beverages such as tea, coffee, and hot cocoa. You also use these spices to spice up vegetables. You also use them in pastries, the likes of cinnamon, cardamom, nutmeg. Those go really well with pastries and puddings. So when you're making desserts, think of cardamom, ginger, cloves, black pepper. They are going to flavor your food. Okay, so other kinds of foods that you can use warm spices in: soups and stews. This is kind of obvious. If you're making your delicious beef stew, you will want to throw in your black pepper, your garlic, your ginger, etc. Okay, then the last type of food that you use warm spices is sauces and dips. So sauces, these are the ones you use as side sauces for your meals, and dips are the ones you use with crackers, with potatoes, with whatever kind of food you're making. Alright, so with warm spices you can combine two or more for more flavor, but you need to be careful not to use a lot of each because the flavors might overpower each other. For example, if I am making mandazi with ginger and cardamom, I need to be careful not to use too much ginger because the cardamom might be overpowered. Alright, so in this case I need to just use a little bit of ginger and a little bit of cardamom, so the two flavors have enough space to shine. Okay, so now that we've spoken about warm spices, I would want us to talk about dried herbs. Those are the other types of spices that I haven't talked about. Okay, so number one herb is dill. Dill is best for fish and egg dishes. Dill, the herb, is strong in aroma. It is one of the herbs with the strongest aroma, and that is why it works perfectly for fish and eggs, because it masks the flavor of fish and eggs. Right? So if you dislike the scent or the odor of fish or eggs, then you can spice such foods with dill to make them more palatable. Right? Or in addition to flavoring them. Okay, Number 2 herb that I am going to talk about is oregano. Oregano is a favorite for many. I know most people like it, and it's because it goes with almost everything, specifically red meat. It is the best for red meat. You can also use it for legumes and pulses, and by this I mean beans, dengu, kamande, jahe, githeri. Oregano will be lit. Next, bay leaves. Bay leaves are perfect for soups, stews, and stocks. So soups, think of your butternut soup, your beef soup, your lentil soup. Stews, think of your beef stew, your chicken stew. Stocks, think of your vegetable stock, your chicken stock, your beef stock. So all these things are kinds of foods that you have to add water to. All right, so bay leaves just brings out the flavor of other ingredients and also brings about a new distinct flavor, so you don't feel as if you're just taking bland soup. Right, the other herb, thyme. Thyme is perfect for soups as well, but it comes in handy when you're making one-pot meals. One-pot meals are the kind of meals that you add all your ingredients in one pot and cook them for whatever time. So this could be eggs, this could be meats and vegetables, it could be legumes and potatoes, whatever. So it's perfect for spicing. Also, thyme is the quickest type of herb to release its scent. So you don't have to worry about adding it earlier on. You can add it when the food is almost done and it's going to spice it perfectly. Okay? The other herb is sage. Sage is perfect for spicing white meat, that is fish and chicken, and it is also perfect for cooking squashes. Squashes are butternut squash, pumpkin, and those foods that are in that category. Okay, so when you're roasting your nice butternut squash, drizzle some sage and you're going to enjoy it. My next and most favorite herb, rosemary. Rosemary is perfect for potatoes. Everyone that asks me how I make my oven baked potatoes, ask Rosemary. Rosemary does it for me. Rosemary is perfect for spicing tea as well. It is perfect for slow cooked meals. So if you're cooking your 4-hour beef steak, use rosemary and you will love the results. Okay, so the other herb and the least favorite on my list is mint, because I prefer using fresh mint to dried mint, because fresh mint obviously has richer flavor, and when I am using mint, it's only in juices and smoothies. So if you're using mint to cook food, you can use it in soups or in meats, but you have to be careful not to use a lot of it because the flavor can be overpowering. The other type of herb on this list is lemongrass. Lemongrass, most of you people use it in beverages, in tea, in hot cocoa, in coffee. It is perfect. It has a rich, fresh taste, even in its dried state, and I love it. You can also use it in curries if you like the strong scent of lemongrass, right? The other spice or the other dried herbs on my list is basil. Basil is perfect, and when I say perfect, get me, it is perfect for salads. As you can see, all these herbs have their favorite kind of meals that they come out to shine. So basil comes out to shine in salads. Okay, so when you're making your nice garden salad, sprinkle some basil or add it in your salad dressing and you will love it. But when you're using it to cook in foods, especially soups, you want to make sure you add it fast so that you can give it time to develop its flavor. Okay, so unlike most herbs, basil needs to cook. It needs to be on heat for quite some time to develop the flavor. Right? The last dried herb, but not the least, is parsley. Parsley is like coriander, but it has a stronger scent, and it has a richer flavor and a stronger scent. So when you're using parsley in its dried form, you can use it with anything. You can add it with anything, and you can add it after your food has cooked. It doesn't need time to develop its flavor like basil. Okay, so there is one spice that I did not include in warm spices and in dried herbs, and that is paprika. And I will show you the paprika that I use, because I know most of you will want to buy it, because I am going to recommend this for just about anything. If you're thinking of shopping for spices, this should be the number one spice in your cart. Okay, why paprika? Paprika goes with everything and anything, right? It has a rich, smoky scent, and it comes in a red burnt orange color. So basically, paprika is the red bell peppers are roasted and then ground to make the spice. Okay, so you can add it in stews. You can use it to marinate your food. You can use it to add on eggs. Anything, like just think of anything you want to cook, have paprika. And this explains why I have this big tub of paprika. Well, the other spices are in these small containers. It's because I use a lot of it every day. Okay, so those are the kinds of spices I wanted to talk about today. I will have another video to talk about sauces and the other cooking condiments and everything else other than the spices. Okay, so for today I wanted to focus on spices and how you can use them, when you can use them, and with what. Okay, so I have a few questions from people that asked me when I asked you guys to tell me if you have any questions on spices, and a few of you came through with some questions. One of you asked, how can you make your own spices at home? So what you can do, you can buy whole spices. For example, if you want to make pilau masala, you will need black pepper, cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, coriander, and cumin. These are the basic pilau masala ingredients, but you will find that some brands have additional ingredients for more flavor. So if you're thinking of making pilau masala at home, buy each of the spices in its whole state. Okay, so if it's cloves, buy whole cloves. Then use a hot pan to roast the spices. This will infuse more flavor and will make the aroma, will add power to the aroma. Then use a grinder to grind your spice. So you can use a blender, but I would advise getting a grinder because you want to make sure it's fine for easy cooking, and also no one wants to eat and just find a chunk of cinnamon in their food. Okay, so yeah, so I have answered that question. I hope. Please tell me if I didn't. Okay, so when do you add spices when cooking? This is relative. It depends on what you're cooking. Mainly it depends on what you're cooking. So for example, if you're making a stew, I would advise you to add spices just after frying your onions. Okay, so if you're making beef stew, add your spices just after frying your onions. This will give them enough time to cook before you add wet ingredients. And by wet ingredients, maybe tomatoes, maybe you want to add some soup or some beans. Before you add all those other ingredients, add your spices just after the onion cooks. Okay, and that's the same we do when you're making pilau. Okay, so it helps the flavors to get some time to cook and release the flavors. Alright, so can I mix spices? Yes, you can mix spices, but you need to be careful not to overmix. You can't use all of this in one meal because it will be disastrous. You want to be careful what you're mixing, and that's where you refer to how what I have said about using the different herbs and the different spices. So you can't use cinnamon in beef stew. That's best for pastries. So you want to know first which spice goes best with what. So refer to what I have said. Take your notes, go back and watch wherever, and just understand that you cannot use these spices everywhere. okay? And you cannot use all of them in a particular meal, okay? Some complement each other, some fight, so you want to be very careful. So guys, that is all I had to say about recipes. Wow, I owe you guys so many recipes that it's stuck in my head. That is all I had to say about spices. As I have mentioned, I'm going to have another video on sauces and other condiments other than spices. So for today we've tackled spices. If you have any question, leave it down below. I am going to answer you. I am going to research for you and tell you the answer to it, okay? And if you use spices, tell me which one you like, tell me how you use your spices, tell me which spices work together with the other. Let's learn together, okay? This is just some basic research for a beginner that do not know where to start in the world of spices. So I hope I have helped you a bit, and I hope that next time you're going shopping for spices, you have a little bit of an idea on what to get and how to use it, okay? So you guys, remember to subscribe, remember to like, remember to share this video with a friend that you think might need it, and remember to drop me a comment and tell me what you think, right? So I will see you